What would it be like for you if you had zero blocks to what you want to achieve in life? I'm here putting together a training program, a sort of a continuing education program for hypnotists, and it's called Parts Work. So think of the last time that resistance got in your way. Think about how maybe you wanted to achieve something and you just didn't achieve it yet. Maybe you started a lifestyle change on Monday, and by Wednesday, you are back to your old habits. These things are very, very normal, especially when we have parts of us that think they are protecting us from all kinds of things. The list is seriously endless. So, what do you want to change? What does your hero's journey look like? Why do I talk about the hero's journey? The hero's journey starts with you feeling blocked. Something is in your life that you want to make a change with, but there's a little bit of resistance. Maybe you don't even know there's resistance, but anytime you can't make a change or you have trouble making a change, that is a red flag for the resistant part. So there you go, you're out on your journey. And just like Frodo in Lord of the Rings, you are going out on an adventure. But maybe that adventure is actually internal. Oftentimes, though, when we think of internal adventures, we get caught up in the thought of, well, maybe this is just how I am. Maybe this is part of me. Can I even change? I've tried so many times. This is in the hero's journey, the refusal to the call. This is where we tend to back away for days, weeks, years, not making the changes that we want to make in our life. So then on the hero's journey, the next part is meeting the mentor. Gandalf the Great shows up at your door in the form of books, maybe, inspiration, mentors. Like myself as the hypnotist, I'm a mentor for so many people, which is wonderful, but what I am is a guide for you to do your internal work. So now what happens to the hero? What happens to you? You start to recognize parts of yourself that are having a little bit of trouble. And whether you are reading a really good self-help book, an inspirational book, which there's many out there, or working with somebody like me, those parts are going to come to the surface very quickly, and we're going to call them out. And we're not here to banish parts or make them feel bad. We're here to understand where they came from, why they came up in the first place, and if they're even helping you anymore. And chances are they're not. But we're here to give them a new job, a new framework to live within. So the next adventure in Parts Work is, well, in the hero's journey, it's all about enemies and understanding your world and sort of coming up against clashes. What that might look like is where we go with the part of you that feels a certain way, is protecting you, and we go back in time and we understand, well, who's the enemy in this scenario? And, our parents are not our enemies. But in hypnosis, we call them the offenders. They offended us at some point, or we felt like we needed that protection. And of course, yes, you probably did when you were younger, but you're an adult now and you can make your own choices. So then the pattern breaks. We've got it, we know it, we can work with it. Suddenly the client, the hero in this journey, starts to notice that things can be different, that you can think differently, that you don't need the protector, the part of you that's been helping in the resistance. You don't need that part of you to protect you any longer. Now, again, let's go backwards. We're not out to banish this part of us. We're here to give it a different storyline, because guess what? That part was not born into your life thinking that protecting you in that way, because that protection just came from an event or a series of events from your past where it need to pop up and create a wall around you. Oftentimes parts are seen sort of, metaphorically. They're out there in front of you with sword and shield, just fighting off everyone and anything. So let's give give the part a new story. And in the hero's journey, this is their road back. But instead of the road back, let's look forward. What does your life look like with this part helping you now? So in hypnosis, we call it future pacing the client out into their future to understand what's been going on from their past and to implement new ideas, new ways of being, whatever they have been wanting to work on that they've had resistance with. We now see them doing that thing. And guess what? Because the part has been worked with and is understanding that you need to live your life now in the way that you want to live your life, the part is on board and helping you to do that. And so now the hero's journey comes to the resurrection. This idea that yes, you have transformed. You are either online or in the chair, and you get up feeling great, lighter, different about life, like there's hope, which there is, to make the changes that you need, and so much more. And then moving forward, you are using the affirmations, the things that you told the part in hypnosis, and using some self-hypnosis techniques to keep that going into a habit. So now your life is working out in the way that you want it to, and you're building trust with yourself. Oftentimes when we have so many resistances that come up, we can over our life start to feel like we don't trust our ability to make those changes. But in the end, that was just a part of us that was protecting us. So now you can build those many times of trust to have an overall sense of accomplishment. So that's the hero's journey in terms of parts work in hypnosis. Maybe you're a hypnotist listening to this, maybe you're not, but the idea is to start thinking about what is the part of me that's resisting the change that I want to make. The best way to figure that out is ask yourself, if I made this change, if I was able to make this change, a part of me would feel scared that, and finish the sentence. So I hope that helps. If you want help with this, just reach out one-on-one. And so in the description below, there's links to my Patreon, one-on-one consultations if you like, and audios.